Hello, everyone. Really nice to see you. Okay, so people who are watching us on our social channels like YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, you can find the link to the Zoom session in the chat, right? So the Zoom link is in the chat. You can find it. The passcode is also mentioned there, right? So that has been pinned. You can see that in the blue color bar. You can directly join the Zoom session directly. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so let's see how many people are here. Yeah, so if my voice is clear, type C in the chat box, right? Okay, thank you so much, Sujit. Thanks, Roshan. Thanks, Vishal. That's great. Okay, so we are going to start with our regular exercise, which we do the Ho No technique, which is a Hawaiian technique, very popular to clear out the negativity and self doubt. So we are going to do that quickly. People who are joining for the first time here, there is a WhatsApp link on the description. If you're not part of the WhatsApp group, we share all our information and assignments, everything. Clicking and checking if you are able to join. But the group is almost full. You can click and check if you are able to join and join. Okay, great, amazing. Good. So I would request for the exercise, I would request everyone to close your eyes. I'll be taking my name and you'll be taking yours. I'm going to say Sachi, and you're going to, take your name, right? Okay. So you're going to talk to your beautiful spirit, your energy, yourself. I request you to put your hand on your heart. Okay. So this whole exercise is based on 4 statements, which are very high energy and high vibration statements. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Okay. So you're going to say these things to you. Okay. Close your eyes. Relax your breath. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Relax your back. Relax your feet. Okay. I'm really sorry for not taking care of you, Sachi. I'm really sorry for not taking care of you, Sachi. I'm so sorry for disconnecting with you. I'm so sorry for leaving you alone. I am the one who judges you so much. I am the one who criticizes you so much. Please forgive me for underestimating you, dear Sachi. Forgive me for not believing in you. Thank you, dear Sachi, for keeping me alive and letting me have this beautiful experience of life. Thank you so much. From now on, it doesn't matter who doesn't love you. It doesn't matter who doesn't appreciate you. Because I promise you, from now on, I love you. I am here and I would never let you go again. Right. Slowly open your eyes, rub your hands together, and put that energy to your face. Take a deep breath. Right. So people who have joined us on our stream links, yeah. So thank you so much, Abba. Right, you are able to hear me clear. New Crypto Life, nice name, nice username. So you can also join by clicking on the Zoom link that is there on the chat. Okay, great. So we are going to begin with today's learnings. Okay, let me go forward. share my screen. So let me know if my screen is visible. Okay. So yesterday we have seen what is encryption. So how many of you have joined the session yesterday? Great. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Suhas. Thank you, Sajanya. Thanks, Raja. Right. So we have seen yesterday encryption and the property of security that blockchain provides, how it works in a basic level, how encryption happens, and what are hash functions and how hashing happens. And we also have seen the hashing function that blockchain or the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin uses, which is the SHA 256. Right. We also used a few alphabets and words and converted it into a hash, right? So now today we'll learn a little bit more about blockchain applications and how are they different from traditional applications, right? Okay, so we have on here, hey, hi Gautam. So let's begin. Okay, so in blockchain applications, first we'll understand what, how, and how the traditional applications work, right? So if you take up any other traditional application, you will see first the service, which is there, the Google, Facebook, Twitter, or any of the service, Amazon, or anything, right? So they have a central database, right? I mean, their own, data where the whole logic and the user data sits, that is in the database, and within to access that particular database, the service uses something called APIs, which is the application program interface. What happens is whenever, for example, in Facebook, you are searching for a friend and you put in the name, let's just say Saurabh, and I put that name, there is an API call that goes, and the API, calls in a function, the logic to search, and that particular, results come from the, database. It showcases it onto you, right? So this is how traditional applications work, right? So how many of you understood how traditional applications work, right? Type me in the chat. Okay, so many of you might have already knew it, right? You might have already known it. Okay, so now how blockchain application works is because there is no third party or intermediary or a central system. There is a user, and user, for whatever service he is trying to use. For example, if it's a wallet, or if it's a let's just say a community that he's accessing, where he is uh, posting for jobs or getting, which is a Web3 platform, right? Okay, which is based on the blockchain, right? Now what happens is the user, whenever he requests something, a smart contract gets invoked, right? So now what is a smart contract? Now, a smart contract is a small piece of code that will, many smart contracts will make the whole logic of that particular application, right? So whenever a user requires something, he wants, like, let's just say if there's Web3 social media only, like how we thought of the example of Facebook. Similarly, here, whenever a user wants to do some action, he invokes a smart contract. So now, traditionally, what happens is, let's just say, okay, here, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they do not charge you because they are making money based upon user data, right? Because they have their advertising and all those things. So they do not charge you because their services are paid using these things, right? But the charges for a single user would be very nominal, right? Very, very, very low. right? But those charges you are not getting charged because they have a different business model. They make money using the data, right? So now here, whenever you are invoking a smart contract, there is something called gas that is required for that particular smart contract to run. For example, we'll discuss about it in more detail. But for example, we are talking about the network as Ethereum network, and whenever you want to get some data or do some action on that particular network, it would require some transaction fee, right? So that is called gas, and that uh, is directly what it would be like 0.0001 Ethereum, let's just say. Okay, so now that would be deducted from the wallet that is connected to your account, right? So then the transaction goes to the network, and your wallet gets updated with the new amount, right? So, and whatever you requested for also gets processed, right? So, how many of you have understood this till now? Type you in the chat box, right? So, yes, thank you so much, Saurabh. Thanks, Sugandh. Thanks, Sham. Thanks, Rachna. Okay, so you understood it. Great. Now, let me begin sharing. Okay, here. So these were the traditional applications, and here we have something called smart contracts. Now, what are these smart contracts and how are they built, right? So this is where the blockchain development comes. You do not have to invent the whole network or something. So you have to build, when you build, you have to build these smart contracts when you're looking at the logic of that particular blockchain application, right? So this is how a blockchain layout looks like. And now what technology, does uh, the blockchain applications use, right? So now for every application, there is a front end portion and there is a back end portion of it, right? So for example, we're talking about Facebook itself. The look and feel of it is designed on a front end, stack, right? So people who are not aware of front end would be using these technologies, which is HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript, right? So you can use any technology for the front end, right? So now there will be a Web3 API, right, which would be the intermediate. I mean the way to communicate with the backend, right? So now how do we build the backend logic or the smart contracts? So now here in the backend, here your smart contracts sit, and these are made using a language called Solidity. Now Solidity is very much similar to your JavaScript, but now Solidity is the programming language that we use to build backend applications, for the blockchain, right? So this is how the technology stack is laid out. The front end could be made on any of your HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, or maybe you can even use the advanced frameworks, which are like the AngularJS or React.js, anything, right? So the front end could be done on any of the stack now, or any of the technology. Now on the backend side, the smart contracts can be built on a few options, but one of the most popular one is Solidity, which is based on which builds on the Ethereum network, right? So we'll be learning about Solidity also. I mean a little more about those details as well. So how many of you have understood the technology stack portion of it, right? So how applications, hey Rohan, great. So if you understood how the technology stack is laid out and what is solidity and what is smart contract, type U in the chat box. Okay. Thank you, Ganesh. Thanks. Thanks, Rajita. Okay, Rohan asked me to summarize the tech stack. So basically, now, previously we just understood that blockchain uses something called smart contracts to communicate between the user and the network, right? For example, if user requests something, the logic is sits in the smart contracts, and that after using a little gas, which is the transaction fees, which could be in bitcoins or Ethereum, that then the network gets updated, right? So then your action gets performed or fulfilled, and your wallet gets deducted or updated, right? So this is how a blockchain application works. Now, how this smart, we are discussing a little about the smart contract, and where does this come in play is this comes into play in the backend of that particular application, right? So this will be the backend of it, and over that, the look and feel of that particular application can be designed on any of the current technologies, which are the HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, right, or Angular, JS, or React. So that is the front end side of it, right? The back end side of it, this could use the Solidity, right? So Solidity is a language which is used to build smart contracts, and this is very similar to JavaScript, right? So, Rohan, I hope that answers your question. Right. Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Rohan. And so that is about the technology stack here. Now, what we are going to do next is understand the advantages of such blockchain applications, right? So now, traditionally, the applications, whatever we had, it had a central authority, right? So all your data should go through one particular service provider or the service, right? Yeah, which could be the Google, Facebook, or Amazon, or any other service. Now here there is autonomy. Who is making who is making the agreement, or who is making a transaction, who is making an action is you, right? So there is no need for intermediary. That is the first advantage. Trust, and whatever documents or whatever transactions you are uploading, downloading, these are all encrypted on a shared ledger. Yesterday we understood about the public key and the private key and the encryption, right? So your documents are there on the shared ledger. These are all encrypted, right? So that can only be decrypted with the secret or the key that you would be having. Okay, so your documents are encrypted end to end, and we have learned about hashing, and that is going to be super safe. Okay, the other advantage is accuracy. Now, smart contracts are fast and also cheaper, right? And that avoids a lot of errors that happen because of a lot of manual work, right? So you can do a lot of automation that makes it faster, and you can also see that each of the smart contract, the consumption of smart contract is far less cheaper when compared to its traditional and the counterpart. Okay, these are a few advantages of using smart contracts, or advantages in general for blockchain applications, right? So, how many of you understood till now the blockchain applications portion of it, right? Type U in the chat box. Okay, Sahib says video is blurry. I would request you to join on Zoom if maybe the stream or anything, if that is a challenge. I have a Zoom link there. Yes. So New Crypto Life says you understood it. Thank you so much. Okay, great. Now let's get back. Yes. Yeah, Rohan. The cost or how cheap it is, you can think like, it takes fractional amounts of ETH or Bitcoin, very very minute amounts of Bitcoin. It also depends upon the kind of application you are using and the kind of call you're making. But considering in general, they are very minor portions. Okay. Okay, so now the advantages are clear. Now you would ask, okay, so where the money stays or where the gas stays, right? So it stays in your wallet. It could be in any currency. Now, these Bitcoin wallets, the blockchain wallets, now if you see here, uh, there could be one wallet which will have your, user, where your ID, and you can use it with multiple services which are web3 services, right? So now these wallets, what problems they solve is they allow you instant transactions. You do not have to remember different blockchain accounts and balances. There is one central blockchain wallet which is connected to multiple services, right? So that is one benefit. And it would record, like any other wallet in your real life digital wallet that you might be using, it records the history of all the blockchain transactions, right? So this is the blockchain wallet portion. We'll also be discussing about that and how we connect wallets with different services. All those things also we'll understand as we proceed, right? But you can, creation of a wallet is also very simple. You can go online, research. Also, you know how to create a wallet as well. Like, it would be as easy as creating. It does not require any coding. Yes, it does not require any coding. Creating a blockchain wallet is as simple as you put any of your digital wallet, like Paytm or anything like that. Right? Okay, so now the smart contract, a little bit more information about the smart contract. Now, this smart contract is, the logic-based protocol wherein you are writing a contract rule, right, which is not which are not easily manipulated with. You cannot change it or you cannot edit it, right? So this is the nature of blockchain, and now smart contracts are atomic parts of this blockchain technology. So these are themselves not immutable. I mean, the contract rule which is not immutable. So now you can understand this standard contract rule would be the logic of the smart contract itself, right? So now, how do we write the smart contracts? We use Solidity as a language for writing smart contracts, which acts as the backend, right? Which sits in the backend of that particular application. And whenever there is an request that comes from the front end or the user, then the smart contracts get invoked, right? So while learning blockchain or building smart contracts, you do not need any amount in your wallet, because learning smart contracts, there is a way there is a way where you can use dummy currency, which can be used as a gas to learn, right? For learning, you do not have to for learning how to build smart contracts, you do not have to spend, right? That is the query that is coming up. Okay, so those are smart contracts. So how many of you understood till now what we have spoken about? Smart contracts, blockchain, applications, right? So is it clear till now? So type U in the chat box if you are clear on what all things we have discussed. Okay, that's great. Okay, You understood? Rohan says you. Okay. So yeah, so this is more or less about smart contracts. Now we'll see how what are the steps that happen while we are trying to understand a smart contract. Right. So here, let me know if my screen is visible. Okay. Now, how does a smart contract work is, okay, screen is share is loading, people say. Okay. Let me reshare it. Okay, is my screen visible now? Great. So now, how does a smart contract work? For example, whenever we're calling it smart contract, contract is the agreement. Now, whenever there are multiple parties, they identify the uh, actual common goal and the desired outcome. Like for example, if you this identifying the agreement is but nothing but the action that you want to perform, right? So now this is happening between two entities, you and the provider, right? So now smart contracts are executed automatically when certain conditions are met. Like for example, you have said these things are done and good, and then you proceed further. When these conditions are met, smart contracts get executed, right? So now once these smart contracts get executed based upon the business logic, right? Whatever, for example, it was a smart contract to fetch you details of some information, right? It could have been a wallet transaction, right? So based upon that, the code logic works, and the encryption provides a secure transfer of messages between parties, right? So which is the nature of blockchain itself, right? Okay. Yes, we'll do that. Now, the simplest example for a smart contract would be a Bitcoin transaction itself. Like for example, if I'm trying to send you, Rohan, any transaction. If I want to transact with you, for example, I want to send 0.001 Ethereum to you. So what is happening? This itself will invoke a smart contract. This is a very simple transaction. You can consider it as in a real world analogous to bank transaction or wallet to wallet transaction. Right. So if I'm trying to transfer to you, once a few set conditions are met, the smart contracts between the transfer gets invoked, and then the business code logic gets executed, right? Here the logic is to do a transfer, right? Maybe let's just say you're trying to make purchase of an NFT, okay? So which is also which also uses your wallet, right? Which also costs something, right? So even that could also be considered an example for agreement or this transaction, and that would invoke a smart contract, right? So which in a Web2 world, something like an API where the business logic or the verification is happening, here it is happening at the smart contract level. Great. So I hope that is clear. Okay. So now once the logic runs, the encryption is provided by the technology, because now we are on the network. This is happening on the network, right? And post that, the code is executed and the outcomes are registered. After that, again the network gets updated. So all the nodes, like for example, if I transfer something to you, my wallet gets deducted, my wallet gets updated, and if I'm trying to make a purchase of NFT or something, that transaction gets completed. So this is how our smart contract works, right? So any other queries you have, Rohan?
मैं बोलिए तो what yes.
Yeah, so you unmuted, don't you have any specific query?
अगर नहीं पहुंचे ना तो थोड़ा बड़ा अच्छा
Okay. So now Rohan, okay. So let me just summarize that particular question, right? So
हाँ तरह है
like traditional applications, Web3 applications, which to summarize the whole concept,
कोई तो
we
चार
have
मिनट
decentralized application, right? So these decentralized applications are
भी करा
also
रहेगा बाहर
known as dApps, right? So now you understand what is the logic behind these apps, which are the decentralized apps and which are also called as
हाँ
dApps.
चंडीला
DAWS, right? So now that becomes a little easier. Okay, a few more examples of smart contract also we'll discuss. Then we'll great. Okay, so for people who have joined for the first time, you can see that we are progressing step by step, day by day, and if at all you are joining for the first time, go ahead, click on the WhatsApp link that is there in the description and join us on the group where we'll share more details on the group itself, right? So people who are joining for the first time and you are using our social channels to view, you can summarize your top 2 learnings from this session and put it in the comments, right? That is great. Now, for example, Rohan, now you have asked a few examples of smart contracts. Now, let's just say you're talking in a supply chain kind of a context, right? Now, a smart contract can be used to automatically release payments to the supplier, right? Once a shipment of goods is received, right? So you can consider, you can write a smart contract to do this automatic release of payment, right? So that could be one contract, smart contract. Now, for example, let's just say it is a insurance kind of a example. Now, what you can be doing is you can write a smart contract that can automate the claims, right, of the insurance contract and release the payment to the policy holder once all the necessary documentation has been submitted and verified. So now you understand which is the smart contracts, right? So which is very much like the logic that sits behind that particular action, right? So I hope that clears your examples of smart contract doubt, Rohan, right? Amazing. Okay. So now we can summarize our decentralized applications or the blockchain applications concepts, and we'll be sharing the form for you to take the quiz, and this will be on the group. Once we share it, you can put in all your submissions and then share a screenshot of your submission on the group itself along with the score. Right? You do not have to share the email ID. You can crop the email ID when you are taking the screenshot and just put up this score itself. Okay. I hope that clarifies lots of things. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abasai. Great. Okay. We would conclude the session and do our career go open up now. And okay, so people are asking about the graduation date. So on the 5th day, we'll have the graduation where certificates for only this 5-day program will be given, and you will be, also getting the acknowledgement of all the learning that you have done as a beginner, and also you learn about our, BL Bronze, the Blockchain Bronze program as well, right? So we are excited to host our graduation day as well, and basically on that day you'll learn a little more about this scope for you in this blockchain industry, and also how you can enter this particular industry as well, right? Okay. So what would be your career prospects if you are beginning? How to go ahead if you're already a developer and trying to get into this particular industry? What would be the steps required? Right. So we'll be discussing all that. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Rohan. Thanks, Abasaheb. Thanks, Priyanka ma'am. Right. Okay. That's great. Let me just share my screen and be contributing with our X. Let me know if you are able to listen me. Yeah. So I request you to close your eyes. This is the career hope. No? Here we will be, into our career. Right? So I request you to relax your breath, relax your eyes, relax your forehead, relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your feet. Take a deep breath. Okay. You'll be repeating after me. I am responsible for myself and my career. I am responsible for myself and my career. I'm really sorry, dear career, for not taking care of you. I'm really sorry, dear career, for not taking care of you. Please forgive me, dear career, for not taking care of you and putting so much stress on you. Please forgive me, dear career, for not giving you enough time and practice. Thank you, dear career, in spite of all the situations, for taking care of me and fulfilling all your duties. Thank you so much. I know that I have not told you many times. I love you, dear career, in your current situation and in any situation. Thank you so much. Great. Yeah. So now you can share your, experience that you had during of the whole session. It could be the whole no technique and the concepts as well. Okay. Relaxing, clear. I think the clear part was for the concepts. Peaceful. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and proceeding forward and taking another step in your journey to become a better program. Thank you so much. Private key. Okay.